Hey everybody, the Bad Pennies are back. I am Sho, and this is my friend Alan. And today, we're going to talk to you about purpose, and higher purpose, and doing things on purpose.
and as in all of our podcasts, you never know exactly where it's going to go, nor do we actually know.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to keep it on track, but
Right.
who knows, you know? With that being said, we can just dive right into it because, what we were talking about a lot, and it'll be a subject we come back to a lot,
Yeah.
which is leadership and character and our place in the world as men. And I think, at least my experience, is that when we're at work, we're pretty clear about who we are and what we're doing most of the time. We're working, we're making money.
Yeah.
We're and when we're not working, we struggle actually. When we don't have a job or we're not clear about what we want to do in life, men flounder.
I think it's about, when there's a job description,
Yeah,
when there's a list of things that you're supposed to do and not do, it makes it a lot easier.
it does.
But
it does.
when you don't have that, a lot of times, you don't know where the boundaries are.
I don't know about you, but I like clarity.
Yeah.
I like having clarity in my life. I like to know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
When I get up in the morning, I like to know, I have a list of things. And as you know, I'm pretty organized around things. So,
Yeah.
and hopefully you'll pick up a little bit as well and get organized,
Yeah.
or even more organized. I mean, I don't know whether you can get too organized, but certainly it helps clear a lot of stuff out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when things are cleared out of the way, again, it opens things up for other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but one of the things that happens when we're not clear about the direction in our life is a lot of meaning is lost.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Okay, a lot of meaning is lost. So what we call the term that I use, and when I say I use, like everybody uses, is purpose, and having a purpose and being clear about your purpose.
Yeah.
Even when you're leading something, where you're whether at work or in other situations, in order to be a very effective leader. You need to know what your purpose is. What are you leading others to or toward? What are you leading yourself toward? And as we said during the other podcast, that most of your effort in a leadership position is leading yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it is.
there's a responsibility. So without purpose, things get off track.
Right.
Okay,
Which is what we said a few minutes ago
We
about,
did.
people floundering.
Floundering. We flounder when we're not clear about what our purpose is or what it is we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So, as we have in the past, I have our handy dandy dictionary for men, and I've pulled up purpose here so that we can, a little big. So that we can be clear about what we're talking about when we say purpose, because there's a lot of things that can apply to that.
Yeah.
Including, your family. Taking care of your family is a purpose that many men take on and live and serve. And by the way, that's, since I said the word, we'll just say something about serve, which is that. That is how we do approach things like that, which is of service. And we're going to talk a little bit more about being of service as we get into this. But what you do when you find a purpose or are clear about it, in any situation, is to serve it.
Yeah.
To serve the purpose.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So here we go. Definition. Purpose. That which a person sets before himself as an object to be reached or accomplished, the aim to which the view is directed in any plan, measure, or exertion. The second definition, to propose as an aim to oneself, to intend, to to design, to resolve. The third definition, the quality of being determined to do or achieve something. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because it's just so simple and clear,
I
right?
think me too.
Being determined to get something done,
Yeah.
to achieve something, and that could include your family.
Yeah.
And number 4, a reason for being, a path or a direction.
Right. That's when I think about purpose. A lot of times, that's the definition.
Why
of
are we
it.
here?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why am I here? Why are you here?
Yeah.
Purpose actually covers that area of knowing why, what your reason for being here is, and it's important to know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's essential. We can't stress enough the importance and value of having purpose in your life, so you don't flounder. Okay, so now serving purpose is going to require some things. Number 1 is that have we talked about ego before we got into this one? I can't remember.
We mentioned it a little bit, like podcast number 2 or something like that.
Right. Well, one of the things you have to do is you have to get your ego out of the way.
Yeah.
It's not really conducive to serving anyone or anything, including a purpose. Egos really are there to serve numero uno, right?
Okay.
And there are times where that's actually appropriate, but in many other things that we do in life, it isn't. It isn't. And being concerned only with yourself, of course, will get you into a lot of trouble in many ways, including multiple divorces and losing jobs or companies, and a lot of things can happen. So in order to do that, we have to sort of get out of our own way.
Right.
Okay, and when you're clear about a purpose, know that it's not about you.
Well, let me jump in for a second and ask, because some people don't know what their purpose is supposed to be.
It's true.
Now, is a purpose something that finds you, or is it something that you find?
Ah, that's right. Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I asked you an or question and you say yes. Okay.
Yes.
No.
It's both.
It's both,
It's something that can find you and you go, hey. Or it's something that you find. Mm-hmm. And if you aren't clear about your purpose, I would definitely be looking at things.
Okay. Everyone should have a purpose.
Because if you're waiting for the universe to drop something on your head, you may wait forever.
Okay. Right.
But sometimes, and I know some, I know people who were clear about their purpose when they were children. Mm-hmm. They were just crystal clear.
Yeah, I wasn't one of those.
most aren't. So if you don't feel bad. I mean, that didn't happen to you, it's okay, because we most all of us don't have a purpose when we're born. We have to figure it out. In fact, that's a really an important distinction between us and everything else in the universe, really.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Right.
or at least all the creatures on this planet, is that they all have a purpose that is predetermined before they're born.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually get the opportunity to choose.
Yeah.
And
One of the blessings of being human.
It is a blessing. It is definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
So,
but a lot of times a purpose doesn't serve you. Your purpose serves others, right? It's an outward thing,
it's always an outward thing.
never an inward thing.
It's never an inward thing.
Okay.
It's always an outward thing.
So that's how you're able to identify.
That's why you have to get the ego out of the way.
Yeah. Because
'cause
ego is
ego's
about
the inward
yourself.
thing, yes.
Yeah. But-
Ego is all about winning.
Yeah. So for someone to be able to look for their purpose, to be able to identify what is it that is my purpose, it's something that is not for you. It's something that you can do for others.
Well, again, like one of the definitions here, a reason for being. All right.
A reason for being.
It's a reason for being is one, and purpose gives you a direction. Because if you're clear why you're here, whatever that is, to make the world a better place, or whatever that path that you've chosen, right? It really doesn't have much, if anything, to do with us at all. It's always about, because remember, service is is outward again.
Yeah.
Purpose is outward. So, and look, at one point growing up, I became very clear that leaving the world a better place than I found it was my purpose.
Okay.
Now, here's the interesting thing about purpose is that you've got to figure out a way to serve it. It's not just the purpose itself. Raising family would be a great way to leave the world a better place than you found it. There are many things you could do. Community service, you could get involved in all kinds of things, charities, invent something that makes the world a better place. There's as many possibilities as there are people.
Okay.
But the overall purpose that I took on was to leave the world a better place. Now that opened the door to finding out how I want to do that.
Okay.
This is one of the ways. Doing this podcast is definitely one of the ways that I serve that higher purpose.
Because you're able to reach out to so many people and
Yes.
help them to work on the things that
And
improve their lives.
yes, and the trainings that I do, and the Zoom calls,
Yeah.
and the international trainings, and all
Right.
of that stuff, whether in person or online, all of that is serving my purpose to leave the world a better place. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, good. So let's talk now about higher purpose, because purpose and higher purpose are kind of the same, but a little bit different.
Okay.
A little bit different. If a purpose is your reason for being in life, the reason that you're here, higher purpose takes that to another level.
Higher purpose.
Just like anything that you can do, you raise the bar. So to
Okay.
speak, okay.
All right.
And when we raise the bar on purpose, we have to sort of do other things that in order to make that work. We have to make our the context that we're living with and using larger in order to hold that purpose at that higher level. So when we talk about higher purpose, it really now it has nothing to do with ourselves at all. No, not any bit.
Okay.
Okay, and the higher you go, the less the self is involved, until maybe at the top of at the highest level of service in the world, it are people like Gandhi. And most of the time that people that serve at that high level are killed. Many of them die because they become controversial. It's a very interesting thing. But let's just talk about higher purpose for a moment. Okay. So that's not a reason to not have higher purpose, by the way. Unless you aspire to be another Gandhi in the world, then
higher purpose is something that could be worth dying for.
It could be, and that's a very interesting thing, and it wasn't in anything that we've talked about yet. But have you ever asked yourself, is there anything that you would die for? Anything that you that would be worth giving up your life? Many of the men that I know that are like you, that are fathers, they would die to protect their families.
Yeah,
without question.
Yeah.
Without question. Do you have something like that? Do you have a cause or a purpose that is at the level that you would sacrifice your life for?
So is that how you
if you
identify?
do, you are driven because that to be that committed to a purpose is going to be a very powerful thing.
So is that how you identify a higher purpose?
Well, not necessarily, but here's just read a couple of definitions and see what comes up here. All right, to place oneself and one's life further and further away from the level of individual Okay? To place oneself and one's life further and further away from the level of individual. Okay, that's the level of aloneness, despair, ego. All right. The second definition is anything you do that is not about you. So if when you're thinking about higher purpose, it's just all of the things you do that isn't about you, all the ways that you take care of other people that you don't expect anything in return. Expectations. Again, we did a bunch on expectations, so find that podcast. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So, but anytime you do stuff looking for benefit, personal benefit,
that's not.
It's not higher purpose. No, that's ego, and it's kind of a slippery slope in a way,
Okay.
The third one is the game of life is to move away from that level of despair and aloneness, that place where we're doing everything to serve ourselves, the level of individual, the level where we don't care about others, we're just doing everything and grabbing anything to be able to take care of ourselves. Okay. And so the game here is to move away from that, and purpose will do that. Having purpose will move you away from those things. And as you do move away, you will find incredible fulfillment as a result. But you can't do it for the result. It's because if you do it for the result, then you're trying to do something for yourself. And it's not selfless, and it's not service to others. Being in service to others it comes without expectation of any kind of return.
Yeah.
Any kind of return. And just look, think about all the times in your life that you did stuff to get something.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and you might find that it was most of your life. Okay, or a lot of it, that you did stuff until you knew better. You did stuff or till you discovered something, or you found this podcast. That your actions were all related to what you can get. And what we're saying here is that you will get all that you would love to get and more if you stop trying to get it.
Okay. I'm visualizing how there are some people.
I know, this makes sense, doesn't it?
I'm visualizing how there are some people who, when they're out doing their community service projects and stuff like that, then they're also making sure to take pictures to show, this is what I'm doing for my community service.
See me, it's all about me. How about me? Do you see me? How do I look? What do you think about me?
Right. That's what we're saying here. You're getting away from that. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're getting away, and also, all of the times that you did stuff for your wife or your kids, and then expected them to behave in a particular way toward you.
Right. That's not the same. It's giving for the sake of giving.
Exactly. That's what, and we're going to talk specifically about being selfless here in a second. The final definition: to take on the increasing challenges of larger commitments, sacrifice, disciplines, and the learning of new skills as a way to be of service to others. And again, as a way of being of service to others.
Yeah.
So it is going to require work to have a purpose.
Okay.
And serve it. And it may require other skills. And it may require that you reassess how you've been living your life.
It's not going to be easy.
Nothing's easy.
No, but I mean, for the thing that you're doing, that is your higher purpose.
When is anything easy?
No.
All right,
but,
so you think that
it's
that's
going to be hard work, though, right? It's not going to be something that comes naturally. It's
okay,
that
so
takes
it doesn't
effort,
come natural.
Concentration, dedication, commitment.
Right. And no, it doesn't come natural. There's nothing totally natural about it, except when you you surrender into that place of being of service, it does feel right.
Yeah.
There's something about it that feels right. And the sacrifices that come along with doing all of that, the work, the time, the telling yourself the truth, the reflection, taking stock, all of the kinds of things that will get involved in this, it won't be quite so difficult because you know why you're doing it. You're clear and look, there are people in the world that I call saints because they actually do this naturally. It's just who they are. They don't even ever think about it and never have. They just are, and that's all they do is give. A lot of nurses are like that. I've met nurses at the hospital and medical centers and stuff, and even outside that have attended some of my trainings, and they are amazing. They just give, and it seems like there's no bottom to the vessel. That they just always have more and more. And I call them saints. Actually, if there's actually a real way of being a saint in the world, I think that's it.
Okay.
Right. But I've met through doing community service a lot over the last 30, 40 years. I've met some real saints.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself one, but I have actually met others who definitely are. So, but for the rest of us mortals here, we have to do some work, for sure.
Yeah.
It requires something of us. If you're going to serve a purpose or a higher purpose, then there are a lot of things that come along with it. And learning how to be selfless is a really great practice. In fact, one of the things about being selfless is that it's a great way to be a husband and it's a great way to be a parent.
Let's take a pause so we can do a section on selfless.
Okay, good. We will. And so check out the Selfless podcast.
Coming right up.
We'll look almost exactly the same. Might put the microphone on my